Well, it's official. The World Health Organization has declared that the Ebola crisis in the Democratic Republic of the Congo is a public health emergency of international concern. So is the Ebola virus going to affect the rest of the world? Find out right now on IO. Welcome back to another IO news video. We post stories about the most interesting viral news stories on the internet, and then we make them more entertaining, but there is nothing entertaining about an Ebola outbreak. Except for the name Ebola. I don't know why it's just such a funny name to me. Ebola. Ebola is a virus that causes fever, weakness, muscle pain, and a sore throat. Later on, it causes vomiting, diarrhea, and internal and external bleeding. People become infected when they come into direct contact through broken skin, the nose or the mouth, vomit, feces, or bodily fluids of an infected person. Eventually, patients die from dehydration and multiple organ failure. The fatality rate is about 50%. A few weeks ago on this channel, I told you guys about the Ebola crisis that's happening in the Congo right now. At the time, it wasn't a global health emergency, but it was on its way to becoming one if the problem couldn't be contained. And it looks like my predictions were right. The World Health Organization has officially declared it as a global health emergency. The crisis has claimed the lives of 1,600 people so far, and it's infected 2,500 people in total. 12 new cases are reported every single day, and the situation has been dire since last August. This is the 5th time in history the PHEIC emergency provision alarm has been sounded. The past few times included the West Africa Ebola epidemic in 2014 to 2016 that killed 11,000 people. The outbreak that is currently happening in the Congo is the 2nd largest in history. But the World Health Organization doesn't believe that the situation is dire enough to close the borders. They also don't believe that the situation is bad enough that there should be restrictions on travel or trade, and there won't be screenings of passengers at ports or airports outside the immediate region. The declaration is mainly to convince wealthy donors to send the WHO much needed funds to contain the outbreak. There is a vaccine for Ebola which is 99% effective, and more than 161,000 people have gotten this vaccine. But only the people who have come into direct contact with Ebola patients have been vaccinated, when it's recommended that everyone get the vaccine. The major issue the World Health Organization is facing is public distrust of healthcare workers, which has led to about 1/3 of all the deaths being in the community instead of at an Ebola treatment center. The Democratic Republic of the Congo has a long history of violence and conflict, and the people distrust foreigners, even foreigners who are only there to help. To simplify it for you, this means that people are not seeking the treatment they need, and that's risking the spread of the disease to anyone they come in contact with. To make matters even worse, since January of 2019, there's been over 198 attacks against healthcare workers and Ebola treatment facilities, causing 7 deaths and 58 injuries. At this time, the virus has also spread to neighboring countries. 2 cases have been reported in Uganda, and Rwanda is also at risk. Goma is not. The World Health Organization has been reporting for months that they don't have the funds to deal with this issue. It estimated that it needed $98 million to tackle the outbreak between February and July, but they were short $54 million. Hopefully this video will help spread the word about the Ebola crisis in the Congo, and if you guys are interested in donating, there's a bunch of different charities you can choose from. I'll leave a link in the description for you. We normally respond to comments at the end of our videos, but because of the nature of this video, sad and scary, I don't think it's appropriate to do that. But if you want to keep watching this channel, there's a link to a playlist right over here, and if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on the bell, and I'll see you in a future IO video.